Hello, this is Malonb or Malonb Brews from Facebook or Malonb Shop, also from Malonb at Etsy.com. This is a tutorial to put together this Amigurmi bunny as well as finish off with the details as far as the nose and eyes. You can find the pattern at my Etsy shop at Malonb at Etsy.com. Here I will be starting with the completed pieces. As you can see here, I have all the pieces completed, both of the arms as well as the ears, the head and the body. Now via the pattern, we will stuff first the head and the body and finish with that. Here they both are stuffed. Now again, via the pattern, both pieces should have the same number of stitches finished off with both the head and the body, which makes it a lot easier to sew together. What I like to do is match both pieces up, as you can see. Here would be where you finished off the body. You can see the knot. The same thing with the head is where the tail is coming out. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but what I like to do is kind of match them up, and nobody will really be able to tell except you, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, matching up the stitches, one stitch on one side with one of the other side, you just do a simple whip stitch and sew it all around. I'll finish this off and I'll come back. Okay, here we go. I finished off the body. This is what it looks like. Now I will start with one of the arms. What I like to do is I like to line it up with the leg. It will look something like this. And just FYI, the knot that we finish off in the body, I usually call that the back of the piece, but it's up to your preference. Now again, with the arm, I kind of line it up with the leg. It will look something like this. And as far as where to sew it up, I like to do 2 rows below the seam. I don't know if you can see here. Maybe I'll show you closer. That will be the first row. This is the second row, and that's where I would sew it up. Now the arm is pretty small, so it shouldn't take any more than maybe 3 to 4 stitches to sew. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one and do the other one as well. And now here's the body with the arms already sewn up. And again, with both arms, I did kind of line them up with the feet or with the legs. Now we can go ahead with the ears. What I like to do is I like to have the tail on one end, and if it's not at the end where you want it, you can manipulate the piece. Just move it around until it is where you want it to be. Then I fold it in half, and that is how I would sew it to the body. Now as far as where I like to sew it, I like to leave at least 2 rows from the center of the head. If you can see, there will be around 2 rows, so it would go somewhere around there. And I also do align it with the other pieces, the leg and the arms, just so I make sure the ear is not too forward or not too far back. So that is around where it would go. Alright, now here is the bunny with both ears complete. This is what it looks like. We're almost done. Now, as far as the features go, for the eyes, I will use some buttons from my stash. I chose these 2. They're not the same, but they're about the same size and about the same color. You can use whatever you like. It will look something like this. As far as for the nose and mouth, I use a scrap piece of yarn. Again, pick any color you like. Starting with the nose and mouth, what I do is tie a knot on one of the ends of my scrap piece. Just a regular knot. Now with my needle, I would thread it through, and what I like to do is I kind of like to eyeball where I want the nose and mouth to be, so you at least have an idea of where you'll be sewing them on. And the way I like to hide my knot is look for or start with putting my needle in one of the spaces of the stitches, as long as it's big enough for the knot to go in. You can see there will be one there, for example. I mean, they're everywhere. There will be one, or there's another good spot. Anywhere where the knot will be able to go in. I start in there and I take the needle out from my starting point. So you push it through, then you pull a little. The knot should slip in easily. As far as the tail, you can cut it off, or you can pull it in with a crochet hook, like so. Now it should be pretty secure, but still, don't pull too hard. And then you continue on sewing on the nose and mouth. This is an easy one. For this bunny, I just do an X, larger at the top, smaller at the bottom. As you can see, I'm almost done. This one is really simple. Now it's complete. What I would do with the end is make a knot and pull the tail in with my crochet hook. Alright, we have that done. The last thing we need is the eyes. For the eyes, I use just a regular needle and thread, nothing complicated. And if you're not sure about where you want the eyes, you can use pins just to kind of place them and play around with it until you're sure of where you want them. I would do something like this. So let me sew them on and I'll show you the finished product.